Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to finally show you the motor that I picked up for the 325IS. So I figure it would be a little bit unnecessary to give you 3 different videos on picking up the motor, refreshing the motor, painting it, blah blah blah, this and that. So I'm gonna try and summarize everything best I can in one video, and in another video we'll actually reseal the motor. Let's just go back in time a little bit. Guess what we're doing today? Maybe. I've been looking for a motor for the 325IS for so long, and I found one. It's just not an M50, which kind of sucks. So ideally I would just pop another M50 in the car and call it a day, because it would be much easier as in terms of actually swapping it in, but I have not been able to find an M50. Basically, overall, this is a complete motor that's apparently rebuilt for like 500 bucks. It's missing a few things, but he still has the exhaust manifold for it. He still has, I think it has a manifold, not that I need it. I'm just trying to think about what it does and doesn't have. But I have a pretty long drive. It's a 3-hour round trip. It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be for the other motor, but yeah, it's not great. Gas is fucking expensive right now, so I am going to try and bounce over to Vacaville, California and pick this thing up. And I don't have a hoist or anything, so hopefully we can just lift it into the truck. I don't know. I'll put his ad in here if I actually buy the motor and it's good, so shout out. Alright, I'm headed back now. I left with way more than I needed to, but he hooked me up a show. Alright, so I'm headed back now. I got to check out the motor. I took the valve cover off and I took the pan off. And I forgot a 22 mil to spin the crank, but we just spun it by hand. And it definitely has compression, so it's got that going for it, and it looks pretty good inside. So I'm not too concerned about the motor. I think it'll be fine. It looks great. So it just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. And really, from here, I kind of need to just transfer everything from the M50 over. But when I get back to the house, I'll show you what I got. Alright, I am back in the garage with the 325IS, and I may or may not have acquired a few more things than I had originally anticipated, so we will go over those real quick. Now that you've seen me pick up the M52, we're gonna go back in time once more and you're gonna see me clean it up. We have the M52 here. This is what's going in the car. It's an M52 B25. Unfortunately, I think I mentioned that before. Just couldn't get my hands on a B28 block. I could not get my hands on an M50, which is what I really wanted, but this will work. We just have to swap from OBD2 stuff to some OBD1 stuff on here and make it think that it's an M50 instead of an M52. Alright guys, and just like that, I've stripped the majority of, well, I got the whole harness off the M50 here, but there's still some things that'll need to be stripped off. Obviously, I left all the big main accessories for when we actually swap it over. I'm not cleaning this block, I'm not doing anything with this for now, so I'll probably just deal with this and swap all this stuff over when it's ready to be swapped over. That being said, I managed to fit everything, pretty much everything, the heater core stuff for just like these coolant lines, plus all the vacuum stuff and the chassis harness in this one box. So this is at least in one place. I know where it's all at. We'll actually go over this a little bit more in depth when it's time to put it back on. But as far as the M50, it is pretty much, this is how I wanted it. I wanted it stripped to about this level. for now, just so now I know that this can kind of sit outside. I don't really give a shit. I just wanted all the electronics and all the sensors out of the weather. And now I can focus on getting the M52 ready, and we can swap the rest of this stuff over. So for like 40 bucks at O'Reilly's, I got 2 bottles of this super clean degreaser. I don't know, I guess it's like Purple Power or something. And then this high temp Duplicolor engine paint. This is silver. I actually meant to grab black as well, but I totally didn't do that. I grabbed clear coat because the likelihood that I actually clear this after I'm done painting it is super slim, so I'll have to go back and get black. But I'm gonna start with degreasing it, so we're gonna get one of these, and we're also gonna grab these guys, a couple wire brushes. Then I'm gonna use a little, like, pretty dense brush for when most of the grease is off and I can just scrub and clean it with water. And I got some rags to sacrifice. So really, that's all we're gonna need for now. I mean, this will be a very cheap and easy thing to do, and hopefully the end result is something worth our time here. Holy shit, that was heavy. Getting a little too carried away already. The back of this block looks amazing. The back of the head looks even better. So this is just with some degreaser, some wire brush, and really just taking my time to get in there as best as I can. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not going to sit here for 4 hours trying to get every little speck off, but this looks a hell of a lot better. I mean, this looks awesome. Alright, well, to no one's surprise, I'm sure, this is taking me a lot longer than I expected, but I actually have the majority of the head pretty clean. So I will catch up with you guys when stuff starts coming in, or when I continue to clean this thing up and paint it. And just like that, you're all caught up. That was about 3 weeks of filming, pretty much, just like all in between when I could film. I picked up the camera and did so. But I'm now caught up to the point where I have the engine pretty much as cleaned up as I can get it, and the only thing I want to do now is actually paint the block. For that, I need to get paint. As you can see, it also started to rain finally. Which is great. I love the rain, but unfortunately I left all my shit outside because I didn't think that it was gonna rain. So now it's time to assess what needs to go inside, or what I can actually get away with putting inside. I am not particularly stoked on the fact that I didn't have this tarp. I just didn't have an extra tarp, so I used a moving blanket. Fortunately, I still need some accessories off this thing. As you can see, it is raining pretty bad and this thing is soaked, so not stoked on that. This transmission is garbage, but I will move that get rag because I do need that. So. And there you go, that is a fully painted block. With the exception of actually doing the back of the block, it's pretty much painted. and I will go over it with a layer of clear on both sides. This is the high temp VHT. This is up to 550 degrees Fahrenheit. It's definitely not perfect, but you're never gonna see this. And I figure giving it some paint is better than giving it no paint. I'm not gonna sit here and perfect a fucking M52 B25 block. So this is as good as it's gonna get, but I'd say it looks really, really good. This thing looks way, way, way cleaner than when I got it. I mean, in comparison to when I got it, it looks brand new. So little bit of paint, no masking. I'm not doing any of that. I know people mask everything, but really, if you have kind of a steady hand, you can kind of just paint whatever. I held a rag up to protect the timing cover. You can see I got a little bit here. That's pretty easy to take care of, so take some acetone and get that off. But other than that, block is as clean as I'd say it's gonna get. That is where I'm gonna leave it off for this video. We have a lot more work to do, but as far as actually prepping this to be resealed and stuff, it's done. And that was kind of the cleaning and all that stuff is the tedious stuff that I don't look forward to necessarily. The engine bay will be really rewarding because it's so dirty, but the block and really the motor, you never see it in the car. You'll never see the block. You'll never see how clean it really is once it's in the car, but it's just for that peace of mind. It's just to know that I got it as clean as I could with the time that I gave myself. I think I spent like 40 bucks overall to get degreaser, brushes, paint, and it's clean. So if you want to spend that extra little bit of money and that extra bit of time, it's totally worth it in my opinion. But yeah, that's where we're gonna leave it off for today's video. We got this completely ready for next video where we actually reseal it with new gaskets. I have everything, it's already here from SCP. So next video we will be doing that. I need to get this engine bay stripped so we can actually wash it, clean it, whatever, because then once those two things are done, this is resealed and this is cleaned. It's just putting the puzzle back together. Thank you so much for watching, subscribing, liking the video, sharing it. Whatever you do helps my channel grow, so it is sincerely appreciated. With all of that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.